About this time of year, every year, the striped bass begin an annual migration up river and creek systems across the entire region on a spawning run. Now, there's a lot of discussion about whether those fish actually spawn or not, but in any case, they mimic the move up the rivers. On this week's show, we're going to talk about that migration and how you can catch some of your very own. A lot of fun coming up. Fox Sports Outdoors is now.
It's time for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, glad to have you with us today. Welcome aboard, because the Fox Sports Outdoors train is leaving the station for episode number 1 of 39 consecutive episodes as we travel the entire southeast and southwest region of the country in search of the best fishing action available to bring right to you. To that end, we're getting it all started today in the hill country of Central Texas. Just over my shoulder, I'd like to welcome you in to beautiful Canyon Lake. It's located north of San Antonio, Texas. It's got several species of fish in it, but today we're going to fish for one of them that I've never fished for here before. This lake has a good population of striped bass in it, but I've never fished for them before, and today I don't have any guides or local anglers helping us out. It's just you and me and our brand new Nitro Z20 headed out to find these fish on our own. Our attempt today is to teach you how to catch some of these fish as they transition from the deep water, cold winter months up shallower, headed up their springtime spawn. We'll talk a lot about that on this week's show. Maybe help you catch a few stripers in your home lake. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters on your local lakes, rivers, and bays. So right now, this Nitro gets launched into Canyon Lake. We get it all started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the new season of Fox Sports Outdoors. A check of the Salinar tables for weekend fishing conditions reveals the best activity will begin in the afternoon on both days. Sunrise will take place at 6:41 on Saturday, with sunset occurring at 6:33. And the moon will be 19% illuminated. Remember that daylight savings time begins early Sunday this weekend, so move those clocks forward 1 hour. Stay with us for regional fishing updates from around the area. And I'll return with Keith Combs on this week's Ask the Pro with a question about lure colors.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
Got him. All right, hey, we got it started. Oh, good pull, good pull. Just a small striper, but something to get it started. Get him down in that clear water. Get a little net after him. All right, we got it started. Welcome back, everybody. Well, we're talking transitional striper fishing today on the show. These fish are on the move, and that's just a long, skinny fish. Hit my little swim bait. We'll talk to you about baits later, but there's you a good look at what a nice striper looks like. You know, no matter what part of the region you're in, when you're in this transitional time of the year from spring, actually from winter headed into spring, you can find fish a number of ways. Now, this is the typical winter way that we're fishing right now. What I'm doing is I'm dead sticking. Catch some dead sticking, you can catch some actually moving the bait, but I've got a heavy-headed bait, show it to you later, with a soft plastic jerk bait body on the back of it. And all I'm doing is I'm watching my graph, and I can actually see fish down here at 25 feet right now. So the way I'm doing it is I'm dropping my bait right by my trolling motor that's got my Lowrance transducer built into it, and I'm watching the bait go down until it gets right at the level that the fish are. Then I'm coming over and setting that bait in a rod holder, and then We got a real calm day today, as you can see. So I'm using my trolling motor on a very low speed, and I'm gently drifting and pulling my way through the fish that I can see on my graph and the bait fish. Pulling it through real slow, and every once in a while, one just jerks that rod tip down like you saw there. That's the dead sticking technique. The key to that, you need to be around bait. We'll show you that on the graph as well. You've got to find clouds of bait fish. You're in that area, you can catch them dead sticking. As it warms up though, these fish are going to move. You'll catch them a different way, and we'll talk about that coming up next. But right now, it's time for Fishing and Lake Reports from where you live.
This part of the program is brought to you by MirrOlure, the right tools to catch them. From topwater plugs to subsurface models to deep running lures like the deadly Heavy Dean. Turn on the bite anytime. Tie on a MirrOlure. Well, the yellowfin tuna fishing has really kicked off along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The yellowfin tuna are running from 70 to better than 100 pounds. They're catching them in the Salt Dome area. It's way offshore, but in this, when you pick your days, get good weather, it's not that bad a run, and the fish are huge and they are really chomping. They're catching them chunking and live baiting. It's sometimes hard to get live baits, but if you work for those live baits, they really work very well. They're also catching plenty of blackfin tuna in that 10 to 15 pound size. Those are not footballs, these are big tuna. There ought to be some blue marlin around feeding on those blackfins too. Inshore in Mississippi, the sheep's head fishing is off the charts. There's lots of 4 to 8 pound fish. They're catching them on jigs and shrimp. And also crab knuckles work real well for sheep's head. In Alabama, Captain Patrick Garmison is doing very well on deep water sea trout. He's catching fish in the last of the ebb and first of the flood tides. These are all sizes of trout. He's targeting the Mobile River and the Theodore Canal, but the fish are deep, sometimes 30 to 45 feet deep, very deep. He's looking for clear water. He says that the Fowl and Dog rivers are clearer, and in those areas, he's catching them on MirrOlures. Captain Tim Cutting in Georgia in the Golden Isles is doing very well on trout, reds, and sheep's head, but clear water is the key. Once you find clear water, you'll catch fish. Well, that's it for the Coastal Fishing Report. Get out on the water. When you go, take a youngster with you.
Welcome to the first Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi freshwater fishing report of the 2016 season. This week's update is sponsored by Lake Guntersville, Alabama, boasting 69,000 acres of clear blue perfection. The area offers hotels, lakefront cabins, public boat ramps, and restaurants. If you prefer big fish in a big pond, Guntersville is the right destination. www.fishguntersvillelake.com. As we open the month of March, it's crappie time across the deep south. These fish are moving to the shore, they're feeding heavily and getting ready for the spawn. A good place to catch some slabs right now is Lake Eufaula on the Chattahoochee River on the Alabama-Georgia border. Places to target are under bridges on the lower end of the reservoir or trolling along the old creek channels. Live minnows or howfly jigs are good bets for this action. Now, crappie fishing is also good right now on Miller's Ferry Lake in central Alabama. This impoundment on the Alabama River gives up 1.5 pound slabs. You want to look for these fish in the coves over hard bottom in Bogue, Cheeto, Rum, or G Creeks. In North Mississippi, the place to be for crappie this week is 35,000 acre Granada Lake. This reservoir on the Yallabusha River has a reputation for big fish. Best color of jigs will be pink or black and chartreuse, and if you tip that jig with a minnow, it'll be even better.
Welcome back, everybody. Still on Canyon Lake in south central Texas today, doing a little striper fishing, talking about the transition, and we talked about dead sticking in the cold part of the year. When it starts to warm up, a little later in the spring, you can catch them on a faster moving bait. One way is by jigging a spoon. Now, I'm on right now a good school of fish, and I'll give you a quick shot of what these fish look like. I'm right up over the top of them, and I'm using my traditional hybrid and striper swimming technique, which means dropping that spoon down to the level the fish are, cranking that reel into gear, 4 or 5 cranks, and then let it drop back down through the school. 4 or 5 cranks. There's one. Boy, when you get it down in a school, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get bit. Oh, that's a decent striper. I'll net him. All right. Got him. All right, let me give you a quick look at him. Here we go. It's just a good size striper right there. Hey, this will work. These techniques that we're talking about today are not specific just to where we're located today. This will work all across the South and Southwest. Any fairly deep lake that's got stripers in it go through this same transition period. Now, there's a lot of speculation about whether stripers actually spawn in freshwater or not. Most anglers believe that they do, but in any case, they mimic the spawn, which means they go shallow. They tend to migrate up rivers and creeks in the springtime. So that's the places you're going to find them. They get more and more active when they head that direction, when the water begins to warm above 57, 58 degrees in the springtime. That's the trigger for the move from the real deep stuff up to the shallower stuff. And you can catch these fish up in 4, 5, 6, 8 feet of water, something like that. And you catch them with this fast reeling technique we showed you right there. More fishing reports for you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another season of the Fox Outdoor Sports Report and another season of Tennessee and Kentucky fishing. Had a great time off, great off season, but I'm really excited to be back and be bringing you some up-to-date information on fishing in this region. With that being said, let's go there real quick and let me try to give you a really quick rundown of what's happening here right now. The weather's beautiful. We've had a nice warming trend. With that, the water temperature has jumped and most of the fish throughout this region are making a strong run towards the banks. Spawn will be right around the corner. However, it is still, you know, late winter, early spring, so weather patterns play a huge role in fishing right now. The Tennessee River, which encompasses the biggest body in this region, is ranging from really high 40s to mid 50s as far as water temperature goes. The bass are biting, the crappie are biting. It's really, really good right now. The Cumberland River is on fire as well too. The big rockfish stripers are biting. Bass and crappie are the fishing's really good there as well. Old Hickory, Percy Priest, Dale Hollow, and Lake Cumberland would also be high on my list of places to go right now. So guys, just watch the weather, look for a 3-day warming trend, and then get after them. It's a blast. It's a great time to be here. We'd love to see you on the water in Tennessee and Kentucky. God bless.
There's one. Oh, that sucker bit it on the way up. Well, that's what they're going to be doing. As it gets on into the spring, these fish move shallower. You're going to need to move the bait faster and faster to where ultimately you can watch birds diving. They're a dead giveaway. You can watch shad on top. You can actually see the fish on your graph, and you can see them up in much shallower water. And a lot of times when you find bait in an area, you don't even need to actually see the fish on your graph. If you find bait, you know there are going to be fish somewhere in the area. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of other ways that you can catch these stripers headed right into the springtime. Hey, they're coming out of deep water, folks. They're getting active, and it's going to be a lot of fun all across the South, Southwest, and Southeast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Lose, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Got him. All right, that's going to be another striper. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Talking about transition stripers here going into the springtime, and this is going to be the third technique. You can see that fish is pretty far out there when he hit. Just another average size striper. Nothing real big today, but the right species nonetheless. Actually, we're using a casting technique now. A lot of times what you can do is find these schools out here, and no matter what depth they're in, whether they're deep or shallow, you can take lead jig head, about a 1/4 to a 3/8 ounce, put it on a little swim body like that. And what you're going to do with this technique is you're going to make a big long cast, far as you can throw it out there. Let that bait go down, let it sink on a slack line. You want to keep feeding line out to it so that it sinks straight down. Let it get down to about the depth you think the fish are in, which seems to be about 25 to 30 feet today. Once it gets to that depth, it's very simple. All you do is put your rod tip down and start a very, very slow, steady retrieve, trying to keep that bait in the strike zone at the level where the fish are. And boy, on a swim bait, you better hold onto your rod because they will absolutely hammer it and strip line off. I'm using a little spinning technique. I like to do this just for fun, but you can't catch a giant striper on a little spinning rig like this. You need something heavier like these other rods, these heavier rods that I'm using to catch these fish on. But it's a lot of fun. Light line, light rod, small swim bait, and it'll get you a lot of strikes, particularly that little small 3-inch size. Let's get you some more local fishing and lake reports from our team of Insider reporters.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Dead Dog Saloon, located on the beautiful Marsh Walk in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. If you're in the Grand Strand area, make sure you put that as a place that you've got to go. We've got the best food, the most wonderful view, and killer music. You're going to have a great time whether you come for our breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Come by and enjoy the Dead Dog Saloon. Let's talk about saltwater and what's going on in the Carolinas. I'm looking forward to 2016 being an incredible year for us. Right now I'm back targeting some redfish in the shallows here in the Georgetown area. Those redfish are still a little bit in that winter pattern, but they're going to start to break up as we see the water start to warm over the next couple weeks. Also, the speckled trout are still holding in some of those deeper holes. I talk about voodoo shrimp, whether it was last year or this year. Get out with the voodoo shrimp or a trout trick, and you're going to have a great time with the trout this time of the year. Sheep's head, which you know I love to target, are starting to move on to those reefs. The water temperature is just perfect. It's in those high 50s, and they're out there having a great time on those reefs right now. If you get out with fiddler crabs, clams, barnacles, or oysters, you're going to have a good time. I love the Carolina rig with a short leader and a very small #1 owner hook to target those around these wrecks. Also, in the offshore side of things, the wahoo bite's been incredible this winter. We're looking forward as the next couple weeks we'll start getting some warmer water in. You're going to start seeing the mahi and the tuna start running with those wahoo, but if you can find bait out there on the ledge, you're going to have a great time. And remember, as always, blue and white is a great color, and get it as far from the boat as you can. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday night at 6, or catch the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button, and see lots of how-to and product videos by clicking the how-to button. Also, stay up to date with the latest fishing news, videos, and photos by clicking the follow button on our Twitter feed, and get lots of that same info by clicking the like button on our Facebook page. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. Motor Guide Trolling Motors, because accuracy matters. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Paul wants to know what colors work best in murky water. For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Keith Combs.
Really, my top 3 colors for muddy water, I'm always going to have something based in white, especially if I'm throwing a moving bait, spinner bait, crank bait, something like that. I'm always going to have a shad pattern, and I'm always going to have something in a crawfish pattern, like a red or brown, and then the old standby, black and blue.
Thanks, Keith. If you want some help from one of the pros, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time for the Costa Catch of the Week, where someone wins a new pair of sunglasses.
Each week on our show, one of our viewers wins a free pair of fantastic Costa sunglasses similar to the ones I wear each week here on the show. I'll tell you how to be eligible in just a moment. But first, this week's winner is Brian Christensen of Benton, Tennessee, showing a 38-pound bull redfish he caught in the Gulf of Mexico, and this big red was live released for someone to catch another day. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right side of the front page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Click there, follow the instructions. You must be 18 or older to be eligible to win, And you could be our next winner, and you can see all of the Costa frame and lens styles at their website. Simply go back to our front page, click on the Costa logo. You can see all of the lens styles and frames there, including the frames I was wearing on this week's episode. They're called Cat K. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff, it's the right gear if you want to catch striped bass on your favorite lake in the transition period. I always recommend heavy tackle fishing for stripers. And it all begins with the brand new Lew's TP1 Speed Stick series. It's identifiable by the white color. It's got a fantastic first guide that stops wind knots, makes for much smoother, longer casts. It's got the wind grips, just like they put on golf clubs. It's the most comfortable grip ever put on a fishing rod. This particular one is a 7.5 foot heavy action rod. It's the Flipping and A-Rig series, made to throw heavy bass tackle, and it's perfect for catching striped bass. As far as the reel goes, this is the Lew's Speed Spool BB1 Pro series. It's got all the good stuff, high-end reel, perfect for making long casts and reeling in big stripers. For lures, first of all, if the fish are a little finicky but active, you need to use a little small jigging spoon like that 1/2 ounce chrome spoon at the top. The main bait for these stripers, if they're active, is a big 5-inch, 1 or 1.5 ounce spoon. That's a big striper spoon. And below that is a big swim bait with a lead head inside it. That's a 5 or a 6-inch model that works best. If the fish are inactive, you can use that dead sticking technique that we showed you by using the big 1 or 1.5 ounce jig head at the bottom. You tip that with a 5 or a 6-inch soft plastic jerkbait. I was reading an article the other day and I learned a new term. It's called phubbing, P-H-U-B-B-I-N-G. It stands for partner phone snubbing. It's a situation where you are with someone, but they are looking down at their phone on Twitter or email or Facebook or text messaging. It causes a very real feeling of depression or being ignored by your partner. It's like your partner thinks that whatever's on that phone is much more interesting than you are. And the studies and the research show that it causes a very real feeling of depression in the person being phubbed. So the takeaway here is, when you're with someone, whether you're driving, at an event, at a restaurant, pay much more attention to the person you're with than you do the screen on your mobile device, and avoid phubbing. Hey, I'm so glad you were along with us for episode number 1 of 39 consecutive episodes of our show. We'll be traveling the entire southwestern and southeastern parts of our region, bringing you the very best fishing we can find. Hey, don't forget to join us for episode number 2, next week's episode, at 6:00 p.m. next Thursday, with the repeat airing at 8:30 on Sunday morning. From beautiful Canyon Lake in the hill country of central South Texas, till next week, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.